Good morning, everybody. How are you? I know I'm very late today. Well, it's good afternoon now up in the U.S. I had got a late start, and I ran into some people I know, and then I did some house chores, and you know how it goes, you know. Uh, and it's Friday, so there. Big thing coming up now. Trump last night in his hmm, oh, first things first. All right. The King of England kicked his son out. His son or his brother? Kicked his bro out, his brother. Um, so he's taking away all his royal stuff. He can't stay where he's staying. He had to move out, go to another piece of property they own. Or actually, I think the government owns. I don't know how that works out. All because he was friends with Epstein, whatever. So, and you know, same thing happens here, and they don't do anything, you know. Trump just keeps rolling along. And this is where it's going to get complicated. All right? If the Epstein files come out and Trump is really screwed up in them, you know what they're going to do, don't you? They're going to use the 25th Amendment and put Vance in charge. And he's just as bad, if not worse. He's a mental midget. Even though he claims he isn't, but that's life in general. So the king kicks his bro out. And then there's a whole bunch of other crap going on. And the next big thing is the filibuster. Now, if you know the filibuster, I'm not understand all the rules, but you can constantly talk. Guys stand up there and talk for 20 hours. That's the filibuster, okay? They occupy the podium, keeping some votes from coming to the floor, and that's the Senate, I believe. Anyhow, Trump gave an order to his cronies in the Republican Party last night: get rid of the filibuster, because he wants to be king. No checks and balances on him. He just wants to be king. Now, if the Republicans got any brains, they won't do this, but who knows? Because the Democrats tried it when Obama was trying to put a Supreme Court justice in. You remember? They stopped him. They did the filibuster to keep him from doing it, allowing him to do that. So that's just, you know, it works both ways. I don't think either one of them, I think there are people on both sides of the aisle that want to keep it because it keeps everybody in keeps everybody in check, and then there are those that don't want it because they want absolute power. Trump wants absolute power. The Republicans are sitting there saying, well, we're going to get power. We're going to be much stronger. No, you're not. Trump's going to be much stronger. He's going to reach a point where he doesn't need you guys. Okay? And that's the end of that. That's all part of Project 2025 that Stephen Miller helped write, you know? The douchebag that's sitting there that whispers in his ear all the time, that's now trying to take over the State Department. You guys got to get your shit together. Because you can't handle it. You cannot handle an autocratic society because you have 300 million people out there. This is the largest country in the world that's ever going to try to install a king in charge. Okay? You can get a dictator, but not a king. Because kings keep it in the family. And his family, nobody wants in politics, okay? He would love to be able to place his daughter in the seat of the presidency after he leaves. That's the only person in that family he would do it with, you know? Barron's a bastard. He wouldn't do that with Barron. Barron's on his own. No matter what happens with him in the government, Barron's on his own. He's just too stupid to realize it yet. But it'll happen. But anyhow, that's the big thing that's going to happen. Could happen this weekend. Don't know anything about that. And then they listed the number of refugees they'll accept next year to 7,500, and they were told to give priority to AFRICANOS. AFRICANOS are were the white majority in South Africa until Mandela came along. They're the ones that preach, what's that form of government? I forgot what they called it. Sorry. But anyhow, it's a white supremacy. So you people of color, whether you be Puerto Rican, Latino, black, what else can I call? American Indian, Filipino, doesn't make any difference. You will no longer have a say in what happens in this government if Trump keeps going in the direction he is. Only, like Hitler and the Aryan race, only pure white people will be able to govern, will be able to join the military. The white race is almost a minority in the United States, so there are a lot of places it is. So if you want to start a race war, you can't win that one. Donnie, I'm telling you right now, it'll be the worst thing that ever happened to this country. And you'll know it. You'll have to live in a bulletproof shelter. Bomb-proof, bulletproof. Not the White House. Probably Camp David, I guess. Well, that's another thing. I heard a lot of people are moving into military installations and kicking the military out. Hegseth, Miller, Vance, Naum, and Bandy. They've been doing it too. Moving out, going over there, kicking the military to the streets. But you know, what do you care? I could, I could actually see this. Barron gets in control of the country and kicks Trump out. Kicks his father out. That's historic in the family. What Donald did to his father and his brother, you know. But he's made comments back in his last term or something like that, where he was dealing with the filibuster, and this is that he's richer than everybody else. He's smarter than everybody else. He's got a sneaky trait that's better than everybody else's, probably, but he's not smarter than everybody else. I'll put my IQ up against him and my ability to do, so long as we stay within the limitations of my knowledge. I'm smarter than he is. But what else do you say? Richer? No. God, no. Musk is 10 times richer than he is. And Trump is going to end up being bankrupt. Trust me. Because he believes in crypto, and crypto is the biggest scam going. It's backed by thin air. There's nothing backing it. Because the government says it's good, that doesn't mean jack shit. The people that lost money so far have lost money. There's nothing that, because of a collapse of a crypto exchange or something like that. They lose money. There's no insurance. They're gone. Bye-bye. See you later. All right. What else can I do now? Don't know. Let me check something here, and I'll be right back. Here we go this way. This way. This way. Oh, there's supposedly multiple sex scandals are rocking the mega faith community. That's just normal. When you tell somebody they can't do something, or it's different than telling people they shouldn't do something. When you tell people they can't do something, they're going to turn around and want to do it. There are people out there, if you told that haven't voted in 10 years, 20 years, whatever, maybe never. You tell them that they can't vote, you'll have a problem. That's human nature, and I haven't been able to figure out, they say Trump's approval rating hits a new low. Ask him if he gives a shit. Seriously. He doesn't care, because he's in charge. And you could kiss his ass. Let's see, can we the war against that? I see nothing good coming. Yeah, I read a book one time where the country, where we were hit by, I don't know whether it was a nuclear war or the so-called flip. The country flipped. The world flipped, and everything, north became south, south became north, that kind of thing. Screwed everything all up. We're starting all over again. And they divided the United States up into territories. And the most successful territory was in the central of the country, which was controlled by the American Indians. They controlled most of the nuclear weapons because of the area they were in. They controlled a lot. And I could see this happening again, the country getting divided into different areas, Not that that's bad, because, if you're dealing from agricultural standings and whatnot, there's certain parts of the country that, need to be protected from everybody. Let's see. Pritzker is taking on mega allies. The Democrats should pay attention. The Democrats aren't paying attention to anything except their cell phones, apparently. And Trump is weaponizing vulgarity to alter Americans' sense of reality. Americans don't have a sense of reality. Americans are probably some of the dumbest people on the planet. Because they're sitting here, and not since 1933 when Hitler took over Germany have I seen people accept bullshit as the truth. Now, I wasn't around in 1933. I just read history books and talk to people that were. Because I was born in 1946. Right after World War II, and just before the Korean conflict, as it was called. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about stuff like that, and I don't think the people back then were as dumb as they were now, because the difference between the people back then and the people now is that the people back then didn't have the internet and didn't have instant news, weren't aware of what's going on around them until it was far too late. This is so different, seriously, and it's really sad. They're just sitting around and they have no idea what's going down. Oh man, or they don't pay any attention to it. Or they read, now you have to really worry about what you're looking at and reading because of all the fakes that's out there, the deep fakes system that's out there. You don't think the government, you don't think Trump's using that or he wouldn't use it. I think he would. You know, you look at the story I told you about the Africanos being the choice of what refugees to left them in the country. That wasn't a big headline. That was a 3-line blurb on the down the bottom, towards the bottom of a homepage on a section of CNN. You know, it wasn't a big story. It should be one of the biggest stories out there right now, because that's the direction you don't want to go in. Because a white-only country can't survive. See, you have to go listen to my mom when she was alive. And segregation was just beginning to end when I started school and stuff in the 50s. And, you know, I got my ass kicked a few times. I went to a white school for a long time, Catholic school. And then when I came to a mixed school, I had my ass kicked a couple of times. And she sat down, she says, "You have to understand something, Jeff. We can't survive without them, without other people." So I went looking at it, you know, and turns out that a great deal of the fighting during the Indian Wars was done by the black soldiers called Buffalo Soldiers. They did a great deal of the fighting. Only the spectacular losses were where whites were, you know, predominantly the ones doing the fighting. Like Custer's unit, you know. Civil War battles. Wouldn't have won the Civil War without the blacks, which is what they were referred to as the time. African Americans, whatever you want to call them now. It's, you know, they're just people, just like you and me. Shoot them, they bleed red. Open them up, they're the same color on the inside as we are. So, what do you do, folks? You know? Well, the first thing I want to do right now is say thank you to my 2 new subscribers. I don't know who they are yet. I'll try to figure them out. Thank you very, very much for that one. You subscribed from the deep fake article talk I did, you know. One thing you can tell is that I'm not AI. I come across as too stupid to be AI, so, you know. But any of those of you that are left, or that coming in and starting to watch me today, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a dime. And every so often, I come up with a really good story. You know? And I express it in a point of view you might like. You don't have to like me to watch it. Like I said, it's not costing you a dime. And I'm not making any money. I need somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think they said the first tier for getting paid money on this thing is like 2,000 subscribers. And by the time I get 2,000 subscribers, I'll be dust. You know? So I'm just an 80-year-old guy out here having fun, talking to you guys in the morning, and I hope you're enjoying it. All right, we're going to get rid of this daylight savings thing, and we'll be on the same time schedule, I think this week or next weekend or something like that. I don't know. But anyhow, listen, hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow is football Saturday, and I'll give you the my picks, because you know I'm not going to be around Sunday right now, okay? So everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.